Chapter 4.3 Point Data Analysis. In this chapter we're going to look at incident level data on maps and integrating that with other data. In Chapter 4.2 we looked at the Stats on Maps profile tool, which allows thematic based information from the origin data store that's available at aggregated levels to be displayed on maps. This module, which is an optional module of origin, takes that one step further and allows us to integrate origin with point data store or data warehouse and bring that information in and display and analyze that on maps. In this example we're going to look at some police data, and we're going to overlay that with deprivation data. So with this module enabled and with my access level, as in I'm logged in this example as a police partner, I can see all policing information. There are several different access controls that can be applied so that if other users require more granular level of access, such as access to, for example, trading standards or fire data, this would be available through additional selection options. So I'm going to go ahead and look at some antisocial behaviour within this Sheffield region. We're going to look at specifically at noise, although I could look at all antisocial behaviour if I chose. And we're going to filter by date. So we'll look at the period from July to September, and we're going to display those as green points on the map. So once I add those in as a layer, we can see it's available as a layer control, so I can show and hide them. We can also see that the points are clustered. Bear in mind that the system could potentially display thousands of points, and that might be a little too much information on one screen. So the system will automatically aggregate the points into clusters, and that aggregation can be controlled with system parameters. So as we mouse over, so we can see in this area here we have 7 points or incidents in this cluster, and the data here gives a breakdown of those incidents. That's the incident number. We can also bring in other descriptive text from the point data store, such as name or descriptions. We've anomalized this data, which is must stress demo data just for the purpose of this demonstration. So as we can see, we have different clusters on this Sheffield map. Now, what we can do with origin is integrate it with the main aggregated statistic data store and bring in other thematic layers. So let's go and look at the deprivation data that we have. And we can bring in here the index of deprivation for 2007, and we'll bring in the crime deprivation layer. And that's brought in at ward level. We can see that displayed as thematic ward boundaries. And you can quite easily see that in areas of higher noise incidents, there is higher deprivation. Probably no surprise there. And what origin allows us to do is, as we zoom in, each of the clusters will explode into their individual incidents. So we can see here that these clusters have now exploded out. And as we mouse over, we can either see individual points or smaller clusters. There's a cluster of 2, and that's an individual point. And I can flick between any of the thematic profile layers that I choose to do so here. So that's looking at one type of incident on the map. Let's say we want to bring in another set of point data. I could choose it from an additional partner if I have that available to me. For this demo, I'm just going to look at vehicle crime, and we'll look at abandoned vehicles, and we'll add that in as a black layer on the map. And again, the data comes in specifically for this view So we can see we've got a cluster of 3, and the system allows me to do the usual zoom and pan, and if I zoom out, the points will cluster. If I zoom in, the points will explode. That is a very quick overview of origin mapping when it comes to point level data analysis. There are other tools available to us. We can do further detailed analysis, and I will show more of that in one of the future demonstrations.